Hello everybody and welcome back to Those Once Loyal. Today I'm here with my buddy John, and we're going to be playing the first game in a 3-part escalation narrative campaign. To start it off, we're going to be doing just one kill team game. We'll move on to a 1,000-point 40k game, and then a special Deathwatch just gets swarmed from all angles. 1250, do it in multiple waves sort of game, kind of reminiscent to the Last Stand at Glazer's Creek with the Imperial Guard and the Orcs. But for now, this is the battlefield, so it's nothing really out of the book or anything. It's kind of something we set up. This, in the story that we're going to be making today, this is going to be taking place on the Imperial World Vengeance, and the Deathwatch got a distress call from this planet and decided to check it out. And obviously this Land Raider is just a piece of the terrain for this game, but they come to this, what seems to be a deserted planet, looking for any signs of life and to maybe gather supplies, but they're soon ambushed by the Tyranids. And we'll kind of flesh out the story a little bit more as we go on, but so far that's what we're working with. So this is the battlefield, and now we'll show you the units that'll be fighting today. Okay, and this is the kill team for the Tyranids today. We'll start with the leaders and the specialists and go on down the line. So what's this guy?
That's the leader. He's a warrior gunner. He has adrenal glands, flesh hooks, scything talons, toxin sacs, and a venom cannon.
Nice. And what about this guy?
That is the Tyranid warrior combat specialist.
Cool.
He has adrenal glands, flesh hooks, 2 pairs of scything talons, and toxin sacs.
Very nice.
And next guy is comm specialist Tyranid warrior. He's got a death spitter, flesh hooks, rending claws, and toxin sacs.
Nice.
And the lictor is my veteran. He comes as is. And we got a lowly little Hormigaunt to finish up the team.
Just to fill out the team.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to be relying on this guy super heavily.
Yep.
And then maybe he can get some backup from whoever these guys are. So this is going to be the squad that the Deathwatch encounter in this what seems like abandoned city, but soon they will be ambushed and possibly killed, because veterans only have 1 wound apiece at this point. So yeah, we'll get back to you with the Deathwatch kill team. Alright, and here is the Deathwatch kill team. I'll start over here with the leader. The leader's got a combi melta and bolter and the Xenophase blade. I have yet to have any real luck with the Xenophase blade in normal 40k or this, so it's kind of always an expensive choice. So we'll see if it ends up working out today. But hopefully he'll just be hanging out in the back and taking pot shots with the melty gun. Next is the combat specialist with storm shield and power maul. Obviously you can't take a jump pack and kill team, but he's just kind of modeled that way, and I don't feel like ripping it off. So I'm going to be throwing this guy out in the middle of the fray and probably getting killed pretty soon in the game, but that's kind of what he's for. Next down the line is the sniper specialist with the frag cannon, and from the other games that I've played with John, he's usually the first target, because these guys are just ridiculously nasty in both kill team and 40k, so it's getting these guys out of the way is usually pretty smart.
Yes.
And the heavy specialist is going to be the veteran with the Infernus heavy bolter. Hope I got that right. Which is appropriately modeled with the Salamanders chapter, which is pretty funny. So yeah, just going to be utilizing that close range and long range with 36 inches on the heavy bolter, and hopefully flamethrowing the shit out of some Tyranids. And this last non-specialist is not a choice you can really take out of the book, but I left a little chunk out of the points for the kill team total just so I could do this. He's got a storm bolter and a storm shield, which I think that normally you can only take a combat weapon in a storm shield, but it's a narrative game, and I have a lot of veterans modeled with a storm bolter and storm shield, so we'll go ahead and use this guy for this one. And that is the Deathwatch kill team. So We will come back to you after this with the deployment and all the objectives set. So to elaborate on where this is going to be taking place today, we're going to be having this campaign take place on Vengeance, which, and this is out of the Imperial Guard Codex. So if we kind of triangulate where this is in relation to where the Deathwatch Codex has this, it's right around here, which is perfect because Kraken's here, and then there's a fortress world for the Deathwatch right here. So it'll be taking place like right around there, and the stress call will be coming from Vengeance. It'll make its way to Indomitus Point, and then they'll send out a kill team to go investigate. So the rest of these missions that we're going to do that escalate into other games will be taking place in the same place, and all with Hive Fleet Kraken. Alright, and this is the deployment that we have here for the Deathwatch. Over here, my sniper specialist with the frag cannons up here in this building. The guy with the storm shield and storm bolters right out here, kind of in the open, but hiding behind this wall. The heavy specialist is just kind of coming out of this land raider. The leader is kind of not cowering, but strategically drawing back behind the land raider. My combat specialist over here is under this tower, waiting to kind of do some movement behind some stuff and maybe get a charge off next turn. And I think that's about it. So what do you got over here? So this is just your normal
Lowly Hormigaunt. Yeah.
lowly Hormigaunt, and I'm probably going to mix this guy up with a Termagant at some point in this battle report, but Hormigaunt. Then your combat specialist, right?
That's the veteran, the Lictor.
Okay, cool.
It's hiding out there right next to the combat specialist, Tyranid warrior.
Cool. And then over here?
We got the gunner with the heavy, or just the venom cannon.
Okay.
We got a guy with a death spitter back there.
Nice. And all these crates are going to be our objectives here. This crate, this pile of barrels, this crate here, this one over here, and that one back there. There's 6 total. We're going to be playing the Feint narrative mission, so you guys can see it over here. So at any point at the end of any battle round, he's going to be the attacker, and he can choose to destroy one of his objective markers for a command point. And basically, I'm just going to be trying to shoot him off those things as fast as possible and reclaim some resources for the upcoming counter-assault that will be happening now that the Deathwatch have found out that there is an infestation on Vengeance that needs to be taken care of. So yeah, we're going to roll off for initiative now, though. So starting with me, I get a 2 and a 4, 6. And you get a 6 and a 3 makes 9. So you get initiative for the first turn. So we'll come back to you after the movement phase. All right, movement is complete. So the Tyranids over here, his Lictor just kind of moved up over here. His Hormigaunt moved right here. Both of them have this objective. This dude stayed still on this objective. His leader just kind of crept out around this corner over here. This guy stayed still and readied. And I think that's about it, right? Yeah? Cool. And then for the Deathwatch, my combat specialist moved in advanced over here. My leader just kind of mounted the Land Raider over here. Very picturesque, I guess. The guy with the Storm Bolter and Storm Shield just kind of crept over to this corner to get a better view of that guy over there. The Infernus Heavy Bolter guy came over here so he can maybe have a viewpoint of something trying to charge him next turn. And my Sniper Specialist over here just readied. And that is it. So we will come back to you after we start the shooting phase. So starting off the shooting phase, his Raid Warrior over here is going to take a shot at my Veteran over here. So he's long range and obscured, and we're looking for 6s on this because it's 2 negative hit modifiers. So 1 hit. What's his strength on it?
5, AP -1.
So you're wounding on 3s. That's a wound. AP -1, right?
Yeah.
So he's got the Storm Shield over here, so it's just a normal 3-up save. She fails, of course. I'll command point it. Okay, he's good with the 6.
There you
Alright, next my sniper specialist over here is going to try to take a shot at the leader back there. It's long range and obscured, so I'm looking for 5s on this. Getting no hits. So next we got the leader over here is going to do the venom cannon into my sniper specialist. So assault D3 for 3 shots. And then 3 hitting on 6s for holy shit. And then
That's a 1.
that's a 1. So two shots go through. Wounding on 3s, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, wounding on 2s. So 1 wound with a 5. AP is -3, right? -2.
Yeah.
So he gets a 5-up save. Fails it with that. So that takes him down to 1 wound. So go ahead and do the injury roll. I need a 5 to take him out.
Damage is also D3.
Damage is D3. So roll that for 2. So now that took him out with a 2 damage weapon, you roll 2 dice and pick the highest. And that takes him out with a 6. Next up is my leader. He's going to fire across into this guy over here, and he's hitting on 5s if it's long range and obscured for 1 hit. I'm going to use the Hellfire round, so it's wounding on a 2 for 1 wound. AP nothing though, so normal save. No, takes a wound. And that is the end of round 1. So I only lost 1 person. John only has a single wound taken off of this guy, so he doesn't have to take any morale over here. And now we're just going to roll for the initiative for the next turn. I get a 6 to your 6.
Nice.
So we re-roll. I get a 3 to your 7. So you have the initiative for the next turn. So for the end of the round, before we start the second battle round, John is going to spend a command point to destroy one of these objectives.
I'm gonna destroy that one.
This one back here.
Yeah.
So that one is gone. So that gets John 1 command point so far, and he has the initiative for the next round, so we'll come back to you after movement. Alright, end of movement. So these guys stood over here on this objective. He stayed put on this one. His leader readied. This guy just scooted over from where he was over here. And my Stormbolter veteran with the Storm Shield moved up. My veteran with the Infernus Heavy Bolter moved up to get a better sight of this guy. My leader over on the Land Raider just kind of stood still and readied. And then over here, this very sneaky little Space Marine just moved around this corner. So we will come back to you after the shooting phase. So first off, his leader is going to take a pot shot over at my leader, and now that his comm specialist is right next to him, he's going to be adding 1 to the shots. So it's D3 shots.
Venom cannon.
For 3 shots, good start. And then all 3 are hitting on 4s. Yeah, reroll the 1, and he gets 1 hit so far. So only 1 hit. Strength is 8 though, right? So you're winning on 2s. That is a wound to AP -2, right?
Yeah.
So 1 5-up save. Oh, fail it. What's the damage? D3?
D3, yeah.
It's going to be for 1. Takes it down to 1 though, so roll the injury, and there's no modifier. It's just going to be 4 up on him out. And that is a 2, so he takes a flesh wound. And my leader is going to return the favor and do his bolter shot into his leader. So he's long range and obscured. And I'll do the Hellfire rounds again. So 1 shot, hitting on 5s. It's not hit. And next, this guy is going to be taking a shot over at my veteran, just kind of standing out in the open. So he's out in the open, it's close range, so 3 shots hitting on 4s. Getting no hits. So he's going to command point 1 of these rolls and do 1 of them again. Looking for a 4. Nope, nothing with a 2. So next for me, my heavy specialist over here is going to unload everything into his lictor. I'm going to do the heavy specialist for more bullets for the bolter profile. So it'll be heavy 4. And then he's close range but obscured. I'm using both profiles, so it's going to be 4 hitting on 5s. Getting 2. And then these are wounding on 3s. For 1 wound for that. Just your normal save. Or AP -1, sorry. So 6 up. And he saves that. And then on to the heavy flamer now. For 6 shots. Auto hitting and wounding on 3s. For 1, 2, 3, 4. AP -1, so looking for 6 ups. So 1 save, 1 fail, 1 fail with a 2, and then another fail. So that takes him all the way down, right? This is 4 wounds.
One wound now, yeah.
Yeah, he has 1 wound now because he's got 4 total. Now the lictor's gonna return fire with some flush hooks. So we're looking for 2 6s on this. This is obscured and long range technically.
Nope.
No hits. So my guy here with the storm bolter is just going to split fire with his close range weapon. So 2 are going to go into this Hormigaunt first, looking for 4s. 1 hit. Wounds on a 2 with Hellfire rounds. That is not. I'm actually going to command point that for 1 command point. Wounding on a 2. Wounds on a 2. So he's got a 6 up save. Nope. That takes him all the way down. So now he's obscured and within an inch of the obscurity. So he's going to get a. I'll have to get a 5 up to take him out of action. Nope, that's a 1. So and the other 2 shots going into the lictor. 1 hits. Wounding on a 2 for Hellfire. That's a wound. AP nothing, so just the normal save for the lictor.
5 up.
And he does not make it, and that would take him down to his last wound. So now I do injury roll, and on a 5 up he's out. Nope, just takes him. And at the end of battle round 2 for morale, I've got a flesh wound over here, but there's no way I could fail it. And he's got 2 flesh wounds over here, but leadership 5 +1 for the thing next to him, and he would be good, so he auto passes. And I think that is all we got. So we will roll for initiative for round 3 now.
2.
Yeah. I get 7 to your 7, so reroll. I get. Holy shit, we rolled the same thing again. So reroll one more time. I get 10 to your 10. What the fuck is happening here? Okay, we'll try it one more time. I get, 11 to your 8. So I get the initiative for battle round 3. So we'll come back to you after movement for both sides. John is also going to spend the command point to destroy one of his controlled objectives over here.
Destroying that one.
He's going to take that one. So that nets him another victory point, and now we continue on to battle round 3. Starting off the Deathwatch movement, my combat specialist over here is going to charge into this guy and him. He doesn't have line of sight, so he can't overwatch, but this guy is definitely going to overwatch. So 3 looking for 6s. Getting no 6s. And the charge range, I'm looking for 7 to get it over here, 9 over here. Getting 7. So I will just be getting in right over here. So no charge. The Hormigaunt is going to try to charge into my veteran here, the Stormbolter. I need 7 inches, but I'm going to try to overwatch him. So I need 6s. Oh, ho, 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 ho. And it's 2 6s. Using the Hellfire round, so winning on 2. Yep. 2 wounds. Normal save, so 2 6-ups, right?
Yeah.
Makes 1, fails 1. That he already has a flesh wound, so now it's a 4-up to take him out because he's obscured but has a flesh wound. Oh, and he is dead.
Yeah.
And at this point, my microphone decided it was going to randomly stop working, but that's alright. So at this point, his lictor decides he's going to charge into my veteran with the bolter and storm bolter and storm shield to get away from the veteran with the flamer heavy bolter combo. So I do overwatch, make 2 hits, and use Hellfire rounds to wound on a 2 and only make one of them. And for a save, no AP on it, and he makes a 6 and he's okay. Now the charge distance that he needs is over 9 here, so he rolls a 8 and then decides to command point it and gets the same exact result. But even with that result, he's going to just take the total distance and decide to just move the 8 away from the veteran with the heavy flamer and heavy bolter combo. So, which is a good move because then I can't flamethrower him this upcoming turn. And starting off the shooting phase, my veteran with the storm bolter and storm shield does 4 close range shots, but obscured. Hits on 4s. And those 2 hits wound on 2s with the Hellfire rounds. Getting 2 wounds, no AP, so he takes his normal save. And passes only one of them, taking 1 wound. So next his leader is going to do D3 shots into this guy just kind of out in the open.
Venom cannon.
Getting 3 shots with a 6. And then close range and out in the open, so hitting on 4 with all 3. Got 1 hit with a 6. So strength 8, so wounding on 2s. That is a wound. He's got a storm shield though, so 3 up invulnerable save. He's good with 5. Next up, my veteran over here, heavy specialist, is going to fire his heavy bolter into this guy he can just barely see. Check the line of sight. I can see his arm. So I'm going to do a command point for more bullets, and then do 4 shots with the heavy bolter, hitting on 4s. All hit, wounding on 3s. For 3 wounds, AP -1. So 3 6-up saves. Making one of them, but failing 2. He already has a flush wound, so now my out-of-action roll is going to be... he's not within an inch of the obscurity, so it's going to be a 3-up, because he's already flush wounded. And it's a 1! Ugh. I think I'm going to command point that. So I'm down to 2 command points. And it's a 4, so he's out of action. So over here, the leader and this guy who's in close combat are both going to fire their flesh hooks into my veteran. So 4 total. We'll just roll them all together because it's faster. Gets 1 hit.
Wow.
And then wounding on a 4, right? Strength 4?
Yes.
Yeah, wounding on 4.
Oh.
That is not a wound. He's going to use a command point to reroll that.
No.
No wounds still. Now for the combat phase, and the only charge that we have is over here. This is my combat specialist, so he's going to get 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, they're out in the open, for 3 hits. Strength +1, so wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, AP -1. 2 5-up saves. Failing both of them, so he takes him down to 1 wound. Combat over here, the warrior is going to attack back into my veteran with his rending claws, right?
Yes.
Yeah, rending claws. 3 attacks hitting on 3s, getting all hits, so wounding on 4s. Getting 1 and 1 wound. That's it. So what's the rending? AP -2?
-1.
Oh, he's got a storm shield. So 1 3-up invulnerable save for the storm shield. He makes it with 3. And that's about the end of battle round 3. So 1 flesh wound, but he still can't fail that. No other flesh wounds for the Deathwatch, and these guys just have a wound left, 2 wounds left, and 1 wound left over here, or 2 wounds left over here. So at the end of this, he's going to pay a command point to take this objective out. 1 more victory point. So initiative for the 4th battle round, I get a 10, and goes to his 6, so I have the initiative, so we'll come back to you after movement. So starting out the Tyranid movement phase, his leader's going to charge into this combat over here and see what he gets. Gets him way in with an 8, so he's just going to slingshot around here and be on the other side of this guy. Yeah. So end of the movement phase, my leader just kind of scooted up over here. This guy with the Storm Bolter and Storm Shield readied. he moved up to try to get a shot on the warrior that was here, but John did a little tricksy move here. He fell back with this guy after he charged his leader in over here, so he'll get the priority to fight me now. And then moved this guy over here as combat specialist to create obscurity for this guy. So now it's really going to be up to luck to whether or not I can take these guys out in the shooting phase together, or they stay alive and charge me and shoot me, and he's dead. So if he gets over here to this objective and destroys this, he makes it a tie at least, and then this guy's probably going to die in the fight phase anyway, so he's got a pretty good chance of getting over here to the precious cargo. So we'll come back to you after the shooting phase begins. Starting off the shooting phase, my veteran here is going to split fire. It's close range and they're out in the open so far, so the first 2 shots are going to go into this warrior up front, and he's hitting on 3s for no hits. Now the other 2 going into the guy, combat specialist in the back, and now he's obscured by this guy, so I've got 2 hitting on 4s. 2 hits, hellfire rounds again, so 2 ups, 2 wounds with 6s, just 2 normal saves. Got them both with double 6s.
Nice.
Are you fucking kidding me? So since the veteran over here cannot see anybody now, the only person that has a shot left is his leader over here that charged in, so he's going to use his flesh hooks. So 2 hitting on 4s, getting no hits. You want to command point one of them? Okay, he's going to command point one of them. Down to 2 command points. Let's see if he can get it. It's a 4. It's a 4. So now you roll a 4 wound. And it's a 5, so he gets a wound. No AP though, so just a normal 3-up save. I fail it with a 1. Do I command point it? Does it matter? I want to go through, so you got to take me out on a 4. And it's a 6, killing the shit out of this guy with some flesh hooks, and he is out. So before this guy consolidates, because he just smacked this guy out of close combat, we're both going to agree that he would do that at the end of the phase that he would do that at, and not put him out in the open for my leader who can still shoot, and this guy. So I'm just going to do the heavy bolter shots going into him over here. 3 hitting on 4 or 3s for 2 hits, and moving on 3s for 2 wounds, AP -1. 2 5-up saves. Failing both of them. So that brings him down to 0. So now I do a injury roll. And on a 4-up, he's out. He is out with a 6. Oh, an unexpected turn of events for the leader. That is the end of round 4. I've got a flesh wound, and there's really no way I could fail because I've only got 2 guys out, and he's got a leadership of 8. He has more than half of his team out, but he took the broken test and he's fine because he's got leadership 9 and he got an 8. So now we're going to roll to see if the game keeps on going on a 3-up. And the game is done on a 2, which means that your total victory points was 3, and the end game, there's still 3 objectives left on the table, equaling at 2 each. 2, 4, 6 to his 3. So that is a Deathwatch victory, which is really cool. Kind of unexpected too, because these guys are kind of flimsy. But yeah, this is really cool. Kind of experimental, trying to do like a narrative themed game and tie it into a campaign. So this victory actually means that the Tyranids get scared off. We're going to use these supplies to give 2 more command points to the Deathwatch at the next game. And then the Tyranids are going to regroup, and the next game will be 1,000 points, and then it'll go up to 1,250, and then 1,500 if we keep on going. But yeah, so that is about it. John?
Hey.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, man.
It was a lot of fun. It's pretty thematic that the Deathwatch actually were able to scare off a bunch of Tyranids, but It was really close until the very, very end. If it kept on going, you probably could have gotten this one and made it a tie, but that's how the dice go, man. So thanks for coming over, and we're going to keep on doing this narrative-themed game on the deserted Imperial planet of Vengeance next time. Thanks.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be incredible. Thanks for watching, y'all. And with a quick recount, actually, the enemy specialist they took out was actually 2, so this game was a lot closer, bringing him up to 5 victory points instead of 3, but still a Tyranid loss. So we will catch you next time with the second part of the narrative escalation campaign on Vengeance.